All right, let's dive into a story, a really powerful parable. But this isn't about fixing a broken world. No, it's about something way more radical. It's about completely tearing down an old reality just to will a new one into existence. This is the story of the Mad Rune King.
And this right here, this single sentence, is the key to the whole thing. It's not just a quote, it's a mission statement. Our guy Wotan, he's not interested in reform, he's a full-blown revolutionary. He looks at the system and sees something so rotten, so broken, that the only possible solution is to just burn it all down, right down to the foundations.
Okay, so where does a story like this even begin? Well, it starts in a place that, on the surface, looks pretty much perfect. We're talking about an ancient city, one held together by what everyone thinks are these incredibly noble ideals. But as you're about to see, the gold on those chains, it's just plating. It's a facade.
Think of this as the city's, its operating system. They call it the heroic ideal, and it's this core belief that everything, law, morality, even destiny itself, is all built on this solid, unshakable foundation. It's what gives everyone comfort, structure, and a feeling that their lives have meaning. But, and here's the big twist, that solid foundation, it's not a foundation at all. It's a cage. The source material has this amazing phrase for it, the stagnant architecture of the last man. And what that means is a society that's gotten so comfortable, so secure, that it's completely lost its ambition, its drive for greatness. It's a beautiful but totally decaying trap.
So you have to ask, how did Wotan see through all this when no one else could? Well, this is why. He literally watched the gods he served just crumble. He saw right through what the text calls the green gold farce, this grand illusion that wealth and social order actually meant something. And it hit him. The virtues he'd spent his life defending, they were just hollow mockeries. His entire world just shattered.
In a realization like that, it forces you to act. Now, this isn't a story about some tragic fall from grace. No, this is about a conscious, calculated choice to dive headfirst into the abyss. Just picture this for a second. His whole world is collapsing, right? And everyone else is desperately clawing at the falling stones, trying to save little pieces of a reality that's already dead. But Wotan, he does the exact opposite. He just lets go. He chooses to descend right into the foundational chaos that everyone else is terrified of. He's embracing the void. So what's down there in the void? Power. But it's not the kind of power anyone's ever seen before. He has to abandon the traditional runes, the ones that, name things and bring order to the world. Instead, he starts hunting for the mad runes. And these are different. This isn't a language to describe reality. It's a language to channel the raw, untamed chaos that reality itself is made from. Okay, so how in the world do you learn to speak the language of chaos? Well, the process is absolutely brutal. Wotan basically has to perform a soul rewrite on himself. He has to forge a new self, turning his own being into a vessel strong enough to contain this incredibly dangerous power. And get this is not a metaphor. He literally carves the sigils of these mad runes into his own flesh. With every single cut, he's not just bleeding blood. The text says he hemorrhaged humanity. He is systematically draining himself of everything that once made him, him.
So what does that even mean, to hemorrhage humanity? It's a total psychological purge. We're talking about ripping out pity, getting rid of fear, and, maybe most importantly, completely destroying any need for external validation. He's becoming a truly sovereign being, totally free from what anyone else thinks.
Which leads to this brilliant concept, the end goal of his transformation. He turns his own psyche into a psychological lightning rod. See, he's not just empty, he's intentionally fractured and hollowed himself out, creating this perfect vacuum designed to attract and channel the raw power of chaos magic. He's inviting the storm in.
And now we get to see the consequences. Because once Wotan has completely remade his inner world, the outer world, it has no choice but to follow suit. That line between his mind and reality starts to get real blurry.
He doesn't just wield the storm, you see. He becomes the storm. This divine lightning he channels, it's not just some weapon. It's the very force he uses to incinerate the old world's logic, all those rationalistic illusions of the Enlightenment. He's wiping out the idea that reason is king and replacing it with something much more primal, pure, sovereign will. This is it, the peak.
The landscape itself, the 1800s, it starts to warp and twist. It becomes this uncanny, unsettling reflection of his own mind. Industrial cities start vibrating with this dark purpose. The forests come alive with his resolve. At this point, the boundary between self and other has totally evaporated. Reality is just a direct projection of his will.
But, of course, the old order isn't just going to roll over and die. There's always a fight. Wotan's new reality is immediately challenged by these forces that want to shove everything back into that nice, neat, moral cage.
So you've got these two competing realities clashing. On one side, you have the white judges. They're trying to stabilize everything, using what's called the language of law to build this God-sized cage of morality. And on the other side, you've got Wotan. He's not using law. He's wielding chaos magic and divine frenzy to start a war for possibility. This is a battle for the very nature of reality itself.
And guess what? Wotan wins. He shatters the white judges, but his victory, it's not the celebration you might expect. It's something far stranger, and honestly, far more lonely.
I mean, what a powerful image. He is now the Mad Rune King. But his crown isn't made of gold or jewels. It's forged from flickering lightning, the raw, chaotic energy he now is. It's a crown of pure, unstable power.
And here is the price of that crown. The number 1. He's the only entity who can perceive the world he has rewritten. Think about that. He willed an entire reality into being, and he's the only one in it. It's a horrific kind of isolation.
And that's the core paradox here, what the source calls a tragic triumph. It's a victory that results in absolute solitary power. He has won everything. He's achieved total control over reality itself, and in doing so, he has become completely, utterly alone.
So that's where this whole parable leaves us. The old world is gone, shattered. Wotan, now the sovereign of the end of all things, stands alone in a reality that's always in flux, always becoming. So the story doesn't give us an ending. It leaves us with this massive, haunting question. When truth is no longer something you discover, but something that is willed into existence, what comes next?